Okay, so in this example here, we are going to set up Simio for the first time. So we're going to have to open up our FactoryTalk View SE or FactoryTalk View Studio. So we're going to open up the Start menu, go to Rockwell Software, click on FactoryTalk View and FactoryTalk View Studio. We are going to pick Site Edition Local and hit Continue. We're going to pick the Simio application. We're going to open it up. Now this application will work on has a soft logics or a control logics version, depending on which one you want to use. What we are going to do is set up our shortcuts to talk to our processor. Some of you will only have one button in your application or one shortcut. You can have as many as you want to, but the more shortcuts you add and the buttons you add on the selection screen, probably the slower the refresh rate and the selection process becomes. But we're just going to start with one button. So in our displays, some of you will take a look at our display and how this works. So we have one, or actually we have two simulators, one for a soft logics and one for a control logics. Each one of those is tied to a corresponding button and parameter file. You typically, what I do is the last oscillate of the IP address will be number 40, will be whatever your IP address is, .40 with your range, and then we would refresh and display the IP address of your processor right here. For this example, we're going to set up one shortcut, and we're going to tie our one processor to 40. This is also probably a good idea if you have a lot of students. This will keep them from accidentally getting on somebody else's processor. But you do have the option to enable all of your labs on one selection screen. In this example, I only have one button enabled for the students to pick, number 40 button. And so we will select a processor for that. We will go over to RS-Link's Enterprise Communication Setup. You should be able to click on Ethernet and it should begin browsing. Here it found our processor on the network. If you have more than one processor, they should all populate. Sometimes that doesn't work, especially if you've been imaging. There's a little glitch in there, I'm not quite sure. But if that doesn't work, you can manually add the address by right-clicking on Add Device. We want an Ethernet IP device. We are going to select our processor, which is a 1769. In this example, L24ER. QBFC1B. And so we would select that. We would hit the drop down, the drill down button, and we would select, probably depending on which one you want, it's kind of hard to see. You can scroll over here, but we are on version 30 firmware in this lab, so we're going to select that one. It would then prompt us to enter the IP address of what I have that processor set at. We'll do 172. And we'll hit OK. Now, currently, this processor is not online. This is the one it found. And so I'm going to set it up to this one. But the address you enter here should be set. If you're in the UAFS lab, you will see a yellow tag on the computer in front of you with that address. That is the address you would enter here, because each computer in the room has been assigned its own processor to work on. That way we don't have students working on somebody else's processor by accident. So typically the address you entered here would be the yellow tag. So this one has found it. We're actually going to be working on 49. So we're going to add a shortcut. And I want to use number 40 button. So I will enter number 40 for the shortcut number. They're all tied to the address. Typically, I would tie this to address .40, but in this instance, I have .49 configured. It really doesn't matter. Basically, whatever IP address you assign will automatically appear on the button. So there's a way for the students to double check. So once the program runs, it will display the IP address. So we're going to click on number 40. We're going to click on our sim trainer. We're going to hit apply, hit yes. Hit OK. And then we'll close out the developmental software. We'll go to our start menu, all programs. We'll go to Simio. We will connect. Notice there are some shortcuts here. There are some trainer shortcuts, if you have those. And there is a program right here, and it's marked read-only. So when we open it, it's going to give us an error that says you're opening a read-only copy. You need to save this somewhere else. Your program should have opened up with a read-only copy. Mine has not got the right shortcut set. So what I'm going to do is I will just open up this one, which is, all right, the shortcut here. You should say opened with a read-only copy. Would you like to do so? And then save it somewhere else. So there's your blank program to work with. And so we have this one opened up. We're going to go communications, who active. We're going to go ahead and download this to our processor. Maybe change the resolution so the text is a little bit bigger on the stream. hopefully the text is a little bit bigger for you to see. I'm going to try to. Pull this over here and nice and neat. Now Simio has two options. You can launch the side version or the top version. I'm going to launch the side version depending on the resolution of your monitor and how much room you have on your screen. So I'm going to go to Start, All Programs. We have a folder created. Notice there are some shortcuts in there to this YouTube channel, Simio Help. They'll take you to this YouTube channel and the different topics. So we're going to do it the side version. Notice you have to have Factory Talk View. This one is set up for edition 9. That's the lowest edition we're supporting on this. Notice there is a thing that says Z animation. This is some of the behind the scenes animation. The students shouldn't be programming in here. They should be programming in this continuous main task called start, stop, or main, or whatever they want, but they should stay out of this periodic task. And this right here is, of course, the little bit of trickery to pull the raw IP address out of the card itself and put it all back together. And this is at the actual IP address of our processor. We'll hit the acknowledge button and everything works right. We should see the appropriate IP address. We are talking to .49 show up on the button. We're going to select that if that's the only option you have. Then we should have our simulator up and running. We want to check the communications. It should not, if we have an IP address displayed here, then we are talking to that processor.